Hello, my name is Gurman, and this is my introductory speech. I'm a competitive person in anything I do, but particularly I have a passion for competitive sports. As a kid, I grew up playing soccer, basketball, football, soccer, a lot of sports. But particularly, I became a competitive fencer as I hit about like the age of 10. So I've been doing fencing for about 8 years, and I've gone to like national level competitions and state/regional level competitions. For the people who don't know what fencing really is, essentially it's a stabbing another person for points, and then you accumulate enough points and you win the match. When you win more matches, you have to win a certain amount, and then you will get to the finals, and then you win that match, and then you win the event or the championship. As growing up, when I was in about elementary or middle school, I started developing this kind of isolation feeling because the schools I attended to didn't really have fencers or people who did fencing, because there's no fencing centers, academies, or anything like that in Kent, Washington, sorry. It's mostly in Bellevue or Seattle, so I'd commute 30 minutes every day to Bellevue to go take lessons and classes and stuff and do my training. So it would leave a lot of like isolation because nobody else did that at my school. So my common topics were like really not about sports, but more about, I don't know, like video games and other stuff like that. And it didn't help when I got to like freshman year of high school. It didn't really go away because still nobody really did fencing at my high school or really anybody I knew. This would make me a little isolated, and I'd really only have a lot of my friends that I would make at national level competitions and at my club and at state. At school, most of my friends really only shared interests in maybe like just a common interest of sports in general and like getting better at our own sports, such as like doing practices for like physical stuff, physical preparation for competitions. That's really where I got along with a lot of my peers in school. Going into like sophomore year, I started getting a little bit more confidence because I won a state championship, which I've been working for a long time, about 5 to 6 years, like in the making, have been to get to like a good level where I could like share something about myself without, feeling embarrassed about it. That was a really big turning point for me. I started getting a lot of confidence, and I think that really changed the way I viewed myself. Instead of feeling isolated, I learned to deal with it and really just find other topics to communicate with other people with. Fencing was a really big part of my life, and it's like a big like chunk of who I am because it shaped how I talk to people. It shaped my overall interests. It made me a better person. It made me want to be a hard worker because when I did fencing, I'd have to hold myself to a certain standard and quality of work, and that kind of transferred over to my schoolwork and my other passions in life, because I had to always hold myself to this like sort of standard, because if I went below the standard, it'd feel a little bit guilty for me to go below a standard that I set for myself. Like overall, fencing has really just gave me a lot of help in the discipline and becoming a hard worker. As I mentioned before, it helped me with discipline as well, because I'd get up every day out of bed to go to practice, even when I didn't have to, right? I always had I could have always done other things like watch YouTube or watch Netflix, but I always got up and did practices. And so I think that made me a better person because it made me commit to anything I do. It made me commit every day to it. And I think that just makes me kind of who I am. Thank you for being on my introductory speech. Thank you.